Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Donald Trump. No, I mean Chris Matthew. Tonight is our Halloween party show. With us tonight is historian and host of Understanding Propaganda, Cory Hughes. Cory, how you doing?
Good. Happy Halloween.
We got host of Raised by Giants, Ryder Lee. Ryder, what's up?
Transgender Karen in the house, baby. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got host of Inside the Cube, X Cube 420. How you doing?
Doing well, but I see only me and Cory are sane tonight, so.
Yes, half of us, that's okay. All right, I'm taking this shit off because I can't speak. All right, we're going to have some fun. Maybe tell some Halloween stories. And everyone out there in the audience, please feel free to join in the chat, leave your own comments, questions, and stories. So like I said, let's have some fun tonight. First, let's start off with each of you. How do you feel about Halloween as a holiday? Like, did you like it as a kid? Did you participate? Let's start with you, Big Titty Ryder.
Yes, sir. Well, I'd just like to say the other day when I tried to go into a Starbucks and order my mocha latte with extra fucking 2 pumps of Maggi Asado, new fucking caramel cream and whipped cream with a cherry on top and a side of children's tears. I got home and drank it and realized that there was no children's tears in it. And I was very pissed off. You know that taste whenever you drink children's tears, you can always taste it. So I went right to the manager and I was like, you need to take this back and give me a new fucking caramel frappuccino with children's tears. I don't care how you get them. You give me those children's tears. And I got my drink for free. So fuck it.
Man, congratulations for standing up what you believe in. That's really awesome.
Right. Just to let you know, I've been schooled on the Frappuccino game, the iced coffee game. It requires 4 pumps, 4 sugars, and 4 creamers. Okay, to get right. I mean, so
you know
just
what?
for future reference.
You know what? Like, I was thinking about this today. I was like, you know how, like, okay, so if I just got like a Starbucks cup, right? And I guarantee you, if I just had a Starbucks cup and I took it to the fucking gas station, filled it up with gas station coffee, threw a few freaking creamers in there, a few sugars, and gave it to someone, they would drink it and be like, damn, this is fucking good. Guarantee you, bro, they wouldn't even know the difference just because it's in a Starbucks cup, dude.
Yeah, you're
ridiculous,
right?
That's the way we should do it. We should set up outside of Starbucks with fucking gas station coffee and then be like,
you can always tell Starbucks coffee because it tastes burnt.
So does gas station coffee, even worse.
Yeah, people don't use intuition or feelings or their own thoughts anymore. They just go off of what others tell them. You know, that's the new thing to do. That's the way.
So much easier.
Yes, of course.
So much easier not to think.
How you feel about Halloween, man? Would you dress up as a kid?
I did. I don't recall much of my. Wait a minute. I really don't remember much past yesterday. Must have been all them drugs I did. No, I did Halloween as a kid all the time. I couldn't even remember any costumes, but yeah, I always thought it was fun, you know. But now it's obviously just a fucking satanic ritual to indoctrinate kids.
I just realized, Ryder, you didn't even tell us about your childhood as Halloween. You just went to the child tears and the drinking coffee, man. What's up with that?
Little blitzed. Yeah, I did a few like Halloween things. Like whenever I was younger, I loved fucking Power Rangers, dude. I always wanted to be a Power Ranger, and I always like, you know, my grandma would always give me every single Power Rangers costume. It didn't matter if it was the pink one, the yellow one, the green one, and the blue one. Like I had all of them. And I would always be like a Power Ranger every single year when I was growing up.
Oh, hell yeah. And by the way, let's go, Brandon. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate the support. I'm getting it everywhere. Color me motivated. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Hey, man, hey, this is great. We're able to see you today.
Yes.
What's up, Moneymaker?
This is fantastic. Yeah,
I know. My camera was all dicked up last time, dude. It's good to see you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Chris,
so
thank you, guys.
Are the dots behind you, Brandon, moving, or is it just me?
It is. Well, I took 3 hits of acid about 22 minutes ago, so this might get really fun. But those are actually a projection from one of those little cheap things you can buy online, and it projects like this aurora and like all these lights, and they kind of twist and move and stuff. So you're not mistaken in that they are moving is the answer to your question.
Everything's been moving since I started doing drugs when I was like 15, so it's hard to tell sometimes.
Heard that, but these are purposefully moving. So yes.
Good observation.
What's nothing?
Everything.
The weirdest is when
Corey.
the weirdest is when you go and sit down in the bathroom and the tiles on the floor start sliding.
Oh,
That's the weirdest one.
That's nothing, bro. I was literally seeing fucking faces in my lava lamp the other day, dude.
I figured that shit will stop one of these days.
Alien faces in my lava
when
lamp.
You walk through a door. Do you ever go through like a door frame and it goes?
No, but I do get the long hallway thing. I get the long hallway thing a lot.
Hall type deal.
Yeah, I get constant traces
Good
and
time.
stuff. So yeah, drugs, awesome. All right. So Ryder, you're a Power Ranger. So that was your Halloween highlights is Power Rangering.
Yeah, Power Rangering around, whipping ass, and fucking Judy chopping people that don't need Judy chopping.
Fuck yeah. What about you, XQ? How was your Halloween childhood?
Halloween childhood. I went trick or treating one time, I believe. See, my sister was born, so I think I was around 8 or 9, and then I told my mom I never wanted to do it again. It was cold, it was raining, I could care less. And I mean, that was pretty much it. My Halloween from there on out was my grandmother getting me candy corn because that's all I wanted. So that was and I didn't really dress up. When I was growing up, I did always want to be a ninja. But I didn't have the requisite skills for that.
XQ, I'm suspicious of people who enjoy candy corn. So just so you know, you're on my watch.
There was a candy corn shortage this year.
But hold on. But why? Should
God! Just candy corn is just nauseating to me. I've never enjoyed it. If you gave me candy corn, I'd probably punch you.
Let me ask you this: do you like cilantro?
Cilantro?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Not with my candy corn.
Probably
No,
not.
not together.
I enjoy it as a garnish, maybe.
Street tacos and shit, man.
Sure, why not?
Okay, because to a lot of people, cilantro tastes like soap. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
That's weird.
It's like a genetic thing. My sister-in-law actually is one of these people, and they just cannot stand it because they think cilantro smells or tastes like soap. It might be like that with you and candy corn. It might taste like something crazy, and then X loves it. I'm with you. I could go either way with it.
Sounds like a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, well, you see, currently I have no desire for candy corn at all. I think it was just, the only thing I wanted to eat at that moment. So, but 20 years ago, I'm pretty sure it was a whole lot better. But 20 plus years ago. So I probably haven't ate candy corn in 20 years.
So you think the reason that candy corn tastes like shit now is because it's declined, like its processing or its contents have declined? So it used to be good, but it's not anymore?
Yeah, I believe.
That's interesting.
What the ingredients they're using? Well, it's kind of like your favorite restaurants. They had great menu items, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna bring something out new," and now it just all sucks. It's just like,
I have a theory about this. Okay, so the things that we loved back in the day were usually pretty damn handmade, right? And so you have a lot of energy, physical human energy, an entity pouring their work and their craftsmanship and energy into that. So it has a different flavor and taste. This is why like homemade and like farmers markets and all that shit, it's not necessarily grown differently or whatever. Yes, it is to some degree, but there's energy that's put into producing that thing. And when we went automated, everything got real unauthentic. And it's kind of like it's like things don't taste the same and things don't look right. Things kind of suck or whatever. Yeah, it's faster and cheaper and easier to produce, but there's no like human energy that went into producing something specifically for your use.
Yeah, bro, because Amazon just puts it through a replicator machine, dude, and then that's how they spit out all their shit.
yeah, something to it.
What about you, Brandon?
Some, Impossible Meat.
You have, how was your Halloween? Did you like Halloween as a child, as a kid growing up?
Yeah, they were just basic white dude in suburbia Halloweens, man. We went around, we dressed up, as typical things. Definitely was a Power Ranger or two in there. And then we just went around to places and got candy. We also would like drive over to the other neighborhoods as we got older to know that they gave like the full bars away and everything. And then we got into pranks and doing all that shit as you get older. But yeah, as a kid, man, it's super basic, bitch.
Okay. I got a question for everybody because I heard 2 Power Rangers. So, I'm guessing we're going off the original show.
Yeah.
Now everybody was the Green Ranger, correct? Because they had the best weapon. The green, am I right?
No,
I was all of them, bro.
the red.
No,
one.
well, I'm just saying the Green Ranger because it was. I mean, he was both good and evil at one point in time,
Yeah.
and I thought he was the best one.
Went there.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, a little bit of the dark side.
yeah, I was the red one. I don't know, and it was definitely not in that category whenever I was younger. I didn't think about it that way, of course. But now that you say that, of course, yeah, we all do that, right? It's our shadow side. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. I saw where you went.
Yeah.
Smelling what you're stepping in, and I like it.
Yeah, I know. I've probably been there way too long if I was thinking about that as a child.
Yeah, me myself, I was from a little bit earlier generation, Transformers, He-Man, things of that nature. But same shit. I grew up in a pretty much upper middle class neighborhood, going around to all the houses, getting the best candies and dressing up like a little idiot every year. But it was fun, It's not like it's become nowadays where every day is Halloween because you got to wear a mask every day. But
Yeah,
we're living in different times now.
Yeah, now Transformer. Now you talking about the Transformer movie, right? The original.
No, I am talking about
right.
old school
animated.
Transformers animated.
Cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Where Optimus Prime dies early in the movie, Megatron
spoiler.
technically dies, and then gets turned into Galvatron in outer space. You see, I'm going deep like that.
Yeah, that's too deep because I did too many drugs to remember. So yes.
God, like that's fair enough. We'll take that answer.
Well,
What was the most creative costume you guys have ever done?
Oh man.
Like the most
I
creative.
dressed up as a black guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but from the hood though, from the hood. So I mean, like I had the baggy breeches, had the South Pole jacket, had
Okay.
my do rag, my white
like it.
my white tee. I mean, I went all out. The thing is, all my friends realized they're like, "Hey, we understand what's going on," but when we went to parties, they were like, "What's this guy dressed up as?"
I think it's
like,
racially insensitive.
it is.
That's why it's funny.
Yeah, but everybody was like, "Oh, what are you dressed up as?" I said, "I'm dressed up as a black guy." They were like, "I don't get it. You're black." I said, "Of course you don't get it. You don't hang out with me." So all my friends understand what I'm doing here, though.
Nice. That's creative. What about you, Cory?
Oh, I don't recall at all. Like I must have a
Anything
mental
crazy?
block.
Yeah, I think as a really young age, I dressed up as George Washington one time for some reason. I don't know. I was a weird
the
kid.
8th president
So
of the United
yeah.
States.
But it was like
really young
consisted of
kid.
cotton balls and stuff like that. So
I remember doing Sesame Street when I was like a real little kid.
You did Sesame Street?
Yeah, for sure.
he did the whole cast. It was called it was on
I did.
Pornhub.
I remember.
Like Fruit of a Loom.
I remember I did Grover one year and I did Big Bird one year, and I don't really remember anything after that.
Oh, that's hot. Can I get videos of that? Did
Yeah.
Grover
You
one year.
you know how tall fucking Big Bird is, bro? I was talking about Big Bird the other day, and I was like, I wonder how tall that motherfucker is. Anyone have any idea how tall he is?
I'd say like 8-9 feet.
Yeah, he's like 8 feet tall. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that is a tall ass motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Really big bird. Yeah.
Ah, huge bird.
It's actually very
Accurately
weird.
named.
Yeah.
Mega bird.
All right, great segue. So I want to hear either the scariest story that's ever happened to you personally, or something you've heard, if nothing ever terrifying has ever happened to you. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It doesn't have to be anything that you can't explain. Just some scary shit in your life that has happened and that you'd like to share with the audience. And I'll go first. I'll start with my my wonderful, terrifying story as a teenager. Now, from my teenage years on through mid-20s, I experimented with lots of psychedelics. I still occasionally experiment with a little psilocybin, but this was LSD at the time, and my friends and I enjoyed taking very heroic doses just to see what would happen. It wasn't anything spiritual back then at the time. It was just about partying and having fun. So we were idiots. So we decided, to take a good bit. I don't remember exactly how much we took at the time, but it was extremely powerful, potent acid, and I was about 15 at the time. And this was early 90s. So we wait for everything to kick in. Everything's going great. We're having a blast first couple hours. We decide then at this point to go walking through the swampy woods of Louisiana, which was, I think, a very bad idea. We got separated somehow. The next thing I remember is I am staring at a tree, and I'm staring at this tree, which is now consists of all kinds of beautiful worms and butterflies and things swirling around it, and the tree starts to envelop me, and I become one with the tree. And then the rest is a fucking blur. This is where things get extremely weird, folks. If you have not tried acid, I don't recommend heroic doses to start out with it as a 15-year-old. But anyway, I started to, I guess I recall after this point, I think I went walking further, and I don't know what is reality or what is fiction, but I'll tell you what I remember. I remember being surrounded by a Little League team. And they all were standing around me, staring at me with their jaws open, and I remember explaining them to them that I was magic and I could melt into the ground and I can disappear before their eyes and just all this insane stuff. And then I did. I just melted before their eyes and they all went, "Oh my God, he melted." So, this continues for a few minutes. High strangeness out. I don't know what's real, what's not. Reality starts to creep in a little bit, and I don't know how much time has passed, but I know that I'm half awake and half in this dream state, walking down the street, walking in some unknown neighborhood. I don't know where I am at this point. I was in the woods before, now I'm in the neighborhood, and cars are passing very slowly by me. And as they pass by, I am tapping on their window and then waving into the window as they slowly pass by. And I can see the passengers in their car with their jaws wide open going, "Oh my God, what is he on?" Just random. And this happened for about, it seemed forever, but I think I did it to about at least 5 or 6 cars as they passed by. And again, I don't know how much of this I was really doing. And then I start hearing voices in the background yelling, and then it's my friends. They found me and they're like, "Oh my God, where have you been?" And apparently I was talking, gibberish and at times not even English. And they were trying to get information out of me about where I was been. I was full of dirt, like I was extremely dirty, and they don't know how I survived. They saw me knocking on people's car windows, and they were like, they couldn't believe that the cops hadn't been called on me. So slowly more time passes, and I'm coming to realization that, I think I just overdosed a little bit. I don't know what happened here. Then, I started freaking out, and I was still, under the influence of quite a bit of acid, and my friends continued to tell me that they lost me in the woods. I tell them my side of the experience. Until this day, I am not sure what happened for about 9 or 10 hours of my life. I know that I was physically wandering around. I know I had encounters with people, but how I survived, how I got back to where I was, I don't know. But the more I thought about it, the more terrifying it became, and the more I realized, yes, I could have easily have gone to jail or gotten killed. But it's a fun story now, so I'm telling it to the world. And that's my fun, scary Halloween story, everyone.
Dude,
Who would like to go next?
What's even better is if you subscribe to the quantum immortality thing, you probably died several times that night. But you just quantum jumped into a parallel reality where stuff was like there's a dash between kit and cat now. And you're still alive because you still have a mission here to continue. You may have died several times that night. You may die all the time, but you just jump into different realities to keep because your consciousness in this example never dies. You just continue to go on. So you may have, dude.
I'm really interested in this other tongue you were speaking in. I mean, was it a dark tongue? Like Middle Earth dark tongue?
Well, it was a combination of English, and I was saying somehow I was, I know that they told me I pulled multiple items out of someone's ass, and I can't remember whose ass I was talking about, but they said that I was pulling things out of someone's ass, and I was like telling them about it, and it was just the strangest things that I didn't understand at all. So yeah, that's the tongues I was speaking in.
Did you pull it out of their ass with your tongue, bro?
Probably so. I probably don't want to remember what was happening in reality, but yeah. So yeah, that's
oh shit.
That was a fun experience, and I'm grateful to be alive after that.
Where did your friends go, bro? Did they just disappear when you morphed into the tree?
They were hanging out together. They ended up finding bikes and like riding around and having a great old time, and I'm lost in limbo land, hanging out with virtual etheric Little League players and melting into dust. I don't know. It was very odd.
Were they tripping too?
Yes, they were. Yes, all three of us were. So it was that was quite the most profound LSD experience that I've had, I believe. So, who wants
yeah.
to share a scary story with us? I'm going to call on somebody.
I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
So one time on Halloween, me and a bunch of my friends decided to go out to this part of my hometown that's called the TNT area. Some might be familiar. That's where the Mothman was spotted back in the 50s and 60s. And so we went out there. There's a bunch of these bunkers out there that used to be used for ammunition storage. But like now people just go out there and party. Like there's a shit ton of them. Like you can just walk around and they're like underground. But a lot of them are open. Some of them are still sealed, but because they're still being used for storage and stuff. But a lot of them are just open. So a bunch of me and my friends and like a bunch of girls, of course, we decided to go out there and just have a good time. And we had glow sticks and shit that we would break open and like throw them at each other and shit. Because whenever it's dark outside, like everyone like lights up with like glow sticks. It's a lot of fun if you haven't ever done it. But I had like a shit ton of weed with me, like really good fucking weed. And I had 2 giant quarts of moonshine. And we were all passing it around. Like I rolled like 3 blunts. We had them in like constant rotation, drinking moonshine and shit. And at some point I don't know how, because we walked all the way down the road, right? Because there's super long stretches of road and there's a lake on one side, and the other side of the road there's the underground bunkers. And we went all the way to the end of the road. It's like a 2-mile walk to get to the very end of the road. And there was one bunker that was out there that had been blown up. And we were like, oh yeah, we're going to make a fire here so, you know, we can keep warm and shit. And somehow I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I grabbed like a stick, like I grabbed like a big giant walking stick. And then I just started walking in the opposite direction of like where everyone was at. And they ended up finding me sitting on the ground inside of one of these bunkers with a rock in my hand, drawing something on the ground. And like they came and got me, and they said that my eyes were like rolled into the back of my head, and that like I was saying something. It might have been those weird fucking languages that you were talking about, Chris. You never fucking know. But I was like saying some weird shit, and I was like writing on the ground with this rock, like trying to etch something into the ground of this bunker. And like they came and got me and like set me up, and like I don't remember any of it. Somehow I ended up at my friend's house, sitting on the ground in his bedroom, and like that's when I like fucking woke up. So yeah, it was a little weird, and that's not the only kind of instance that I've had like that, and it wasn't even surrounded by drugs. Like one time I legitimately think that I was close to being possessed, but who the fuck knows? It was some weird shit though.
Wow, man. You had a oogity boogity spirit trying.
I don't know if it was the drugs or if it was just some weird shit, because apparently that whole that whole area in the TNT area is like built on top of like Indian burial grounds, which I don't know if that's really true.
Oh hell, not Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. But the town was the first battle of the Revolutionary War, so like literally Native Americans were all along the river, and it's only like 2 miles away from the river. So whenever they say that shit is built on top of Indian burial grounds, like back in West Virginia, it's probably pretty legit.
Yeah, I wonder how much you said that though. Go ahead. Actually.
Yeah, I like how you said that though, that you were on the cusp of being demonically possessed. Mm-hmm. I mean that's all I said, man. I mean, it was real close. I mean, it was right on top of me, and then it's like, nah, I go get somebody else. I'm good. I'm gonna leave Ryder alone.
That's it.
No, I think it's interesting, man. Like I've heard of other people that have had, kind of missing time, and that they said that someone that was with them at the time said that they started acting like crazy. Like this one instance, and it was also in the 90s. A couple of my friends said that they were doing cocaine together, and his friend that he was with started speaking in tongues, and he thought it was Latin, and his eyes rolled back in his head. So it's very strange. I wonder if if it's some of the effects of these, drugs or different entheogens that could be having, these effects on people.
Well, it's for sure the drugs.
For show the drugs.
Yeah. Kind of shake you off of your center point. It opens you up to other entities, if you believe in that type of thing, that kind of hang out and they kind of drive. They take over. They take the wheel for a little while. And then whenever you come down or go back to baseline, then that's when you regain this. But there's kind of, some would say a little piece of that still in there. And you got to kind of work that shit out by whatever means that's necessary. But that's what they say. Altered states is an alteration to your vibration. It just depends on what kind of altered state you find yourself in. Alcohol is a real low vibe state. That's where they get spirits, that word, and alcohol. But it's like a vibrational thing. So whenever you do that, you invite this different literal entity to enter you, and that's why it's so juxtaposition to what your baseline actually is, personality wise.
Is that like the same thing you would get like from like doing the Ouija board deal?
You're like inviting it. You're lowering your vibration. You're kind of inviting this experience to take place, but that means them matching your vibration as well. If you think of it in terms of frequency, like what Tesla was talking about. And if that's the case, then you've got to get into that state, and then you're calling it forth, like you're speaking it into existence. You're bringing something out. Now, whether that's real or not, or if it's just like a tulpa, it's like a figment of your imagination that you just create, but it has physical ramifications in this reality. And there are dozens of examples of that being a very true thing. Then that's also possible. I mean, it could be fucking all us. It could be just made up by everybody.
How do you explain people getting possessed that's not on drugs, though? That just be a more powerful entity?
Well, that or just a vibrational thing. People don't ask the ancillary questions, like were they going through a divorce? Did their mom just die? Like, what was their mental state? Were they eating well? Do they have a good support group? Like, there's a lot of things that play into your vibration. Altered state doesn't necessarily mean bad, because you could have psychedelic experiences or the higher vibrational type, where you have actual positive contact with meaningful intent with those entities that possess similar powers, but with different, I guess, intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just a shift in reality, period, right?
Yeah. Or or this is all the same reality, and you're just amplifying it in some way, or finding a way to look at it that's always there, but you can't see it unless you kind of are very diligent about working towards being able to achieve that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So could we also to that go back to that argument where they talk about the id, like what your inner self is actually being manifested? You speak on that, the id per se.
Yeah, Ryder, or did you want me to? I mean, because we're just talking. We're just having a deep. We were talking about titties, I think, right?
yeah. Well, it just.
We're talking about buttholes a minute ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it might shift back. I mean, it might shift right back to a butthole.
Here for it. Whatever it
is. To an id butthole.
I've got an extremely scary clip that I want Chris to show right here in a few minutes from my Twitter page. It's extremely.
Hold on, let me allow you some screen shareage here. Hold on.
No, we do it. Okay, well, is this gonna freak me out because I'm not good with shit like this?
Yeah, but I don't know if I can do this.
Hold on, I gotta find my. Okay,
I'm on an iPad. I mean, I have no clue what I'm doing.
All right, you are allowed to share if you can. If not, just email it to me. I'll share it.
Okay. All right. Will do. Y'all keep talking because I have no clue what I'm doing.
All right. So let's go to Cory. Cory, you got any scary stories for us?
I don't think so, man. I think I'm fucking boring.
Oh man. So you weren't even like raped by a Karen or like, chased by a Bigfoot or so. I don't know.
No, man. I mean, I had some scary shit going on when I was a cop, but that was about it, and I don't want to talk about it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's too scary.
Yeah, too real.
Too scary. All right, Brandon, what you got?
Real life scary.
What you got scary for us?
I mean, I've got trip experiences as well. My first time I ever took acid, but as far as like extrasensory or paranormal or anything, I have not, to my knowledge, really experienced anything like that. But to what you said when you said a trip story, I was like, oh fuck yeah, I can do that. So the first time I ever took acid, I took 2 hits of liquid acid, both just directly on. And I'd never done any psychedelic before. I didn't even stair step it into mushrooms. I'd smoked pot and all that good shit, but had these two things. Now I still lived I was like still in high school, so I still lived with my parents at the time. And I made up the story that, hey, we're going out to hang out at a friend's house. He's having, a thing or whatever. Of course, his parents are there, blah, 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 lies. We get out of the house. We're good for the night. We go do it. 2 hits of acid. My friend had gotten a settlement from an incident that he'd been in when he was a lot younger, from like a wreck or something. And so they settled with him when he was 18. He got like fucking 100 grand or something like that. And they just gave this 18-year-old kid 100 grand. So he bought a motorcycle. So the why he plays into this is because he was like one of my best friends. So we did a lot of shit together, and that meant a lot of drugs. I mean, I would do, ecstasy, all that shit. That's what I did with this dude. He got me introduced to all kinds of crazy shit. The only rule is no needle drugs. Thank God I've always stuck by that. But anyway, so we do this acid or whatever. We go to a hotel because he had these hotel parties all the time. And so there'd be everything you could think of there. We get everybody, and we're high school kids. It's just basically this Richie Rich that just all of a sudden came into money that's never had it. And so of course we fucked it off. So we do this shit. We're at the hotel room. We're smoking, we're drinking, we're doing the thing. The acid's really starting to kick in. I started climbing up these poles. Now this is in Houston. So I get, the freeway overpasses where there's like the trellis shit and the big signs with the spotlights on the overpasses.
I'm not familiar, but
highways and shit. Anyway, we climbed one of these big bastards, and I'm sitting up there on acid. The light's shining on me. Cars are going under the overpass and shit. It was crazy. While up there, I get a phone call from my mom saying, "You got to come home." And I was like, "Fuck!" And it was like instant, hard. I'm like crying. I'm throwing up. I'm like hanging out in my friend's car as he's driving me to my parents' house, just puking my guts out. I get to the house. I sit down. My mom and dad didn't know I did anything. And so, my eyes are all fucking crazy out, and I'm tripping my fucking nuts off. And she's bitching me out about something, and her fucking eye pops out of her head, rolls down her face, and she steps on it as she's mad and yelling at me and shit. And I'm trying to keep my shit together, but I'd never even seen the walls ripple or the tiles slip like Cory was talking about. I'd never seen anything like that. So I wasn't mentally ready for any of this shit, let alone getting fucking my ass handed to me while on this shit. So she didn't know it all. She said, "What, are you drunk?" I said, "Yes, I'm drunk," and shut the door. And then I continued to just crazy trip my balls off in my high school room for a long time.